Leah McHenry. I'm a singer-songwriter and I write Celtic and fantasy-inspired music and infuse it with rock and metal. And the time has come for a new album and I'm very excited to be releasing it this year. Much of the album has already been done, much of the work has already been done, but we still have the home stretch and we still have to put those last final touches on the album before it's ready. I've been working on it for the last year and a half essentially, and I'm so proud of the phenomenal musicians that have participated in this album. People such as Oliver Phillips, who's a producer, Troy Donackley from Nightwish, playing the flutes and pipes, Baron Corbois from Blind Guardian, playing bass, Timo Summers, playing guitar yet again, also played on Kings and Queens, Sander Zoer, drums on this album as well, and some special guests like Hen Belbus from Orphanland on some of the Middle Eastern instruments. And Jacob Hansen from Denmark mixed this album as well, so it was a real privilege to be able to work with him.
I get approached a lot by lots of people to get involved, but I very rarely do because I don't really have much time. But with Leah, I like all of the things that tickle me, you know, the romanticism of it, the breadth of the sound, and her voice floating in it. It appealed to me. So I said, yeah, definitely, I'm up for it.
You know how there's certain albums in life that you listen to at a certain age and they're like imprinted into your life? Like when you hear that album after years and years that have gone by, it takes you right back to that time in your life because it made such an impression and it just imprinted on you. I hope that this is that kind of album for people, that it will imprint on them in their life and that it will be uplifting, that it will bring them joy, that it will somehow make this world a better place. For me, the ultimate is when you feel almost like a rush of euphoria. There's a few songs that I remember, I don't even remember what they were, but I remember as a kid listening to a song and I actually got this sensation of euphoria from a song that just resonated with me. And I hope that this album will resonate with people like that they will actually experience something like that if it's possible. And this album was not easy, but it is worth it. Like it really turned out well, I think. I hope people love it.
I did one record with Leah, so I was expecting a little bit of the same. Lots of double bass and metal, but this was different. It was more pop rock vibe, which I like a lot. My first impressions of the song were, I definitely have to be on this record, no matter what.
When I first heard the songs that Leah sent me, I pretty much instantly thought that they're amazing. Like, I was always into epic music, and something sounds like a soundtrack, like came out just out of the movie, and it was very easy for me to get into it.
The title for this album is called The Quest, which is named after one of the tracks, because I believe that, you know, the song itself represents a journey, and it represents like ups and downs, good times and bad times, and ultimately at the very end of it, there is a prize, there's a reward, there's something you're looking to that is driving you to, you know, all the hard work, everything you've been working so hard for, everything you've been focused on is all going to be worth it for something. And I feel like, you know, the songs on this album kind of take you on that same journey, but ultimately, I mean, that song for me really does it.
Then one song that would stand out is Quest. That probably was one of the biggest challenges that landed on my table in the last 10 years. And in the beginning, it felt like a mountain too big to climb. So I'm kind of very happy with the way it turned out. And there I just have to give like my compliments to Jacob. I think mixing this song, he delivered a masterpiece.
Some of the things that I really liked about this project was that the music was so, you know, really going from really loud and heavy and dense parts into the, you know, the more sparse, down to earth and really smaller parts. It's actually a very dynamic music.
So the artwork on this album is different. Normally it's always my face on the front, and I really wanted to focus more on the mood and the vibe and the atmosphere of the album in general and the concept in general, which is this fantasy world that takes you somewhere else. So I didn't want to be so much the focal point. I wanted the music to be more the focal point. And I'm just a songwriter, you know, the songs are just coming out and I'm the facilitator of these songs being written. And so I wanted the focus to be on the visual aspect of the music and the journey of listening to it and also what the songs represent.
On this cover, we have a path that leads to you to the castles and through the mountains and to the album, if you like, to the music. So in this way, it is a fantasy world you're stepping into, and I totally like the idea because now it's something different again, and maybe it lets you the music speak more in a way.
As you know, I'm 100% independent artist. I essentially act as my own label, and there's a lot involved with that. For those of you who maybe are also artists, you know. And man, it's taken a lot of work. I've put all my heart and soul into this album, as well as all my money into this album. And I think sometimes people forget how much it costs to make world-class music, it takes a lot to make it amazing. And there are certain things you just don't want to cut corners on for the sake of the budget. And so, you know, up until this point, I've done it all myself. This album is happening come hell or high water, but the question is when? And that comes down to your participation. With your help, this album can be released a lot sooner rather than later. If we don't meet the goal, the album will still come out, but I have no idea when it will come out. It could be a year, 2 years from now, since I'll be on my own to fund the rest of it. So let's not make that happen. Let's do this together. Let's finish this. And the plan is to have it out in a few months after this campaign is over. So here's what you're gonna get when you become a part of this project. These are very special, and we're only releasing these for this campaign only. After that, you might never be able to get your hands on these again, so definitely grab yours ASAP.
If you like Celtic music, if you like Delaney, Nightwish, Within Temptation, listen to this album for sure.
It's big, it's romantic, it's all the things that the world needs.
Thank you so much. I can't wait for you to hear the album. I think it's going to be special. I hope you love it, and we'll see you soon.
Check out LEAH's album. Just check it out. Don't even check it out, just buy it.